You ready?
I am ready.
All right, go ahead.
Live from the Spill Studios, located behind a liquor store off the I-35 interchange, it's time once again for a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle.
I like how you had to get yourself prepared. You're like, long pause there.
Well, I wanted a drink. I've got my my iced coffee next to me, and I'm ready to go.
Okay.
And I felt a little lump in my throat, and I'm like, let me clear that out before we record.
Okay, you sure that's a lump?
It's a cock.
I know. Okay, and now see, that's the answer I was looking for.
And now we are finally like League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen. I've dropped the cock in early, and we're going to say cock as often as we can this episode, cock.
Do they do that a lot?
They say cock a lot.
That should be the name of that show, Cock-a-Lot. Oh, man.
I am Lord Cock-a-Lot.
Cock-a-Lot. Sir Cock-a-Lot.
Cock-a-lot.
I seek the golden balls.
Oh, it's only a model.
So how you doing, man? Look at that. We already starting out childish. How you doing?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing very well.
So we got some things to talk about. We actually have some stuff to tell the members out there that we are planning to do for them. And I don't know if you want to talk about
but only
it
the
right
cute ones.
only the pretty ones, boys and gals. No, we want to do something for those guys out there that would actually benefit us and them. Now, do you want to reveal what that is? You think it's too early?
I don't think it would be too early. I mean, people get really excited about it. Have we figured out the mechanics of how we're going to select?
Of course not. But
awesome. Well, then they can help us decide by screaming at us and demanding that they be the ones that do it. Would you like me to tell all the lovely boys and girls in Spillio Land what we are devising here at Spill Labs?
Yes. You go ahead and let them know. And keep in mind, people, we talked about this like 5 minutes before we started recording for a couple of cold ones, so it's not exactly perfect, or maybe it is perfect because it just came out of the blue right now. But
I think it's fucking perfect.
Well,
I think we got it down.
Oh well, shit, man, you excited about this? You go ahead and let the people know.
Well, me and Corey wanted to do a special like animated thing once a month. That because that's something we just don't have is like just a random ass animated thing. And we were kicking around ideas, and one of the ideas we both really liked was the idea of, since we do a lot of recording on Skype, we figured, hey, we could easily invite a Spillio in and have that Spillio animated, and then have a monthly video in which one of you lucky listeners gets to bullshit with me and Corey for a while.
Yeah, and I told the listeners a while back, I think it was either in the call-in show or Let's Do This, that I had wanted to do a contest with them where they would be featured in there, but I think you need to like have more of a presence on the site. And I was thinking, like, because you're busy and for various reasons, the co-host is doing more reviews and 5 people can't fit in. You're doing your thing on the side, and so basically it came down to, okay, look, I think that you and I should probably do something else besides this podcast and one other thing we have planned. And so you and I threw some ideas back and forth, and you were like, it'd be nice if we can invite some people in, and as you say, let them probably interview us or ask us questions they always wanted to.
Grill us, get up in our grill.
Get all up in our ass about things. And we don't know how it's going to work out, but this is a contest where I don't know if it's going to be based on the best question asked in an email and whether that email should come in the form of a question for a couple of cold ones, or we have a side thing where we ask for people's questions, because that box is going to get packed. Whatever.
I kind of like the idea of going back to the things we experimented with early on, where we have a creative contest and do a different creative contest every month. Like 1 month it'll be draw artwork for a couple of cold ones, or for Let's Do This, or draw some fan art about this, or we make a movie and actually, like the one thing I did where I had people make alternate endings to films, and everyone with editing skills went and re-edited their favorite films to have wacky endings. Have a contest where we focus on a different skill like every month, so that everyone who is creative gets a chance to do something.
Yeah, like if you are the best pole dancer, that month. And
pole dancing.
Yes, I mean, we're not asking you to take your top off or anything. We just ask you to strip down to your drawers and panties and
pole dancing.
But your bra and everything, and just do a little pole dancing. I mean, hey, look, if you a guy and you look good in a bikini and can pole dance, well, hey, we don't discriminate here.
And if you want to show a little nipple,
we're
not going to object. You can't put that on YouTube, but hey, we won't object.
Always down with that.
Unless you're under the age of 18, at which point, we kind of have to object.
We'll give you a half pole for that. How about that?
Half pole?
Yeah.
half pole, that sounds like what you have when you wake up in the morning.
No, I got full pole for that. No, look, we're not being nasty. Now, hey, can I?
I think you gave the audience full pole.
Maybe.
I got full pole, motherfucker.
All right.
That ain't no half-mast shit. That shit is long and in charge.
Well, we got our first winner then. Whoever has the fullest pole is our first winner. No. Now, let me give you some. Let me ask you this. I like the idea of where you're going with this. I just want to get some feedback from you on what could possibly be potential problems on asking people for a certain skill, because we've had a lot of complaints about things or contests that have happened where it excludes people. Like, for example, when we've had contests where we ask people to do Photoshop artwork. And then we had a lot of people write in and say, I don't have Photoshop. I don't know how to use Photoshop. Or I'm not an artist. So somebody who can do this better than I can is going to win. And also, if they can do great art, or if they or if they do know Photoshop or whatever, or can make a movie, whatever, that doesn't mean that they're going to have good questions to ask. I mean, what do you think?
That's true, but just because they send in an email that asks a good question doesn't mean they'll have good questions to ask either. And even somebody who asks bad questions, you and I can have fun with.
That is true.
We could shoot the shit with a Spillio and just have a good time. So, and the idea is that we'll do it for, who knows, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, depends on how good the talk is. And then you'll edit it down to the best 3 or 4 minutes and animate it. And then that person gets to see themselves animated with Corey and Carlisle.
I know. It'll be like, hi, Corey and Carlisle. The end. That's what I'll get out of that whole 20 minutes. Well, that's why
personally, what I would tell those people is hanging out with us digitally ain't really much of a prize. So, stop your whining. But really, I mean, the idea was like back when I was able to do Carlisle's contests, the idea was wait around and next month we'll have a contest that deals with something completely different. And just kind of focus on different skill sets. And if you don't have a skill set, if you don't do anything, we kind of got to ask, why do we want to talk to you?
Yeah.
Not to be rude, but if you haven't spent, part of your life developing some cool kind of skill, and who knows, 1 month it might be singing, karaoke a song and video it, and we'll take the person with the most kick-ass karaoke video and they'll get to do it. Just the point is make it different every month so we can hit all the different skill sets. Ask for we'll give you a joke and you've got to come up with the best punchline. I mean, any number of things can be done to create a cool contest that allows us to get a wide variety of people who are interesting. And that's the key thing, is because if we're going to talk to somebody, we want to make sure it's somebody who's got some mad skills,
Yeah, like the month where you have good car washing skills and you come over to my place to clean my car. I mean, that might be a contest right there. Whoever washes my car the best is.
Or you and your high school volleyball team just happens to be the best volleyball team on Spill, and then you come over and wash my car.
In your volleyball outfit. Now, this is the beauty of the whole thing right here about us being so interactive with the lovely members out there. We're mentioning all these things. So if you like this idea of having a special skill set and you think that adds some variety and some entertainment to it, then great. If you have an idea of something that might be more accessible, then great. I mean, we'll let you guys decide. We're throwing ideas out there.
The idea is this works in two different ways. First of all, we have a way to have some kind of contest to decide what Spilios to invite on, because there's a good chance that if you're listening to this, you'd like to be on the show at some point. We get a lot of people who email and ask, hey, can I be on? Hey, can you animate me? Hey, can I be on the podcast with you guys? And we just can't do that, and we can't afford to set that up. But if we're going to do that, how do we choose? And the best way to choose is just a battle to the death, or a show of mad skills. And while Battle to the Death is always entertaining, I'm not entirely sure it's legal. So I think a Battle of Mad Skills. But the second way that works is that everybody out there gets to enjoy the mad skills of you Spilios, because some of you are seriously talented folks. We have some great artists out there, great filmmakers, great singers, great people with really great talents that don't get to truly showcase them here on the site where we would like to see them. And that gives us a chance for you to show off and you to get some spill prestige of your own, which is a cool thing. I mean, that's how we've gotten to know a lot of really great Spilios, like Mexicano, who does some great editing and great art, and Predator has turned in a number of really cool things. And
Can't
the Mad
forget
Sociopath,
Wayne from Australia, who does the Let's Do This video games, who was like, they're getting longer with every video, and the whole thing. I think he actually has a movie now with all those little videos that he does. If he puts them together, I think we got a 2-hour film. Seriously, it's getting crazy.
So, yeah, and this is how, a lot of people have gotten themselves out there, and contests like this draw a lot of eyes from the fellow Spilios and gives you a chance to kind of show off. So even if you end up not winning, you still get to look cool in front of everybody. So I've just always liked that idea, because I loved doing the contest where I got to see some really incredible stuff. I got to see some really crappy stuff too, which was kind of awesome at the same time.
That's what I'm thinking about. What about that one person out there who's like Droopy Dog, is like, I don't have a talent, I can't do anything. There's some people out there who feel that way.
1 month we could have a video contest in which you show us just how talentless you are, and we could pick the most talentless person, the most pathetic son of a bitch out there, and have them on the show. I mean,
they're all going to be the same. It's going to be a guy sitting in a chair looking at the camera complaining, here I am.
Well, that's called YouTube.
Well, we're going to be the new YouTube, because we're going to get a lot of submissions of people like, yeah, I Mr. No Talent Joe just sitting here staring at the camera. So I mean, I'm interested to see how this will turn out. Like I said, I want to get some feedback from the actual members out there on what they think. I mean, they've been giving us good feedback on the title for the other podcast that we're going to do, which I guess we're going to start tonight.
We're going to start it tonight, baby. Right after we record this, we're going to kick some ass with Blue Tuesday.
Okay, so is that the title then?
That's the title. We both liked it. I really like it. Some other people submitted stuff after the fact, and nothing touched Blue Tuesday. Blue Tuesday was just it was
Blue Tuesday without you. So you
and there's our theme song.
Do you have? So I guess you have the show ready.
Blue. Well. Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be like this show, except we're just going to talk about what comes out on video and DVD on Tuesday, and you and I will get to talk about movies for half an hour.
Okay, so 30-minute show.
Yeah, lots of good stuff coming out this week, so it'll be an interesting show. I know lots of movies that you've definitely seen and that we have strong opinions on.
Oh, I can't wait to see what this is.
There's some great stuff. I mean, that's the great thing about whenever there's a new format that comes out, they reissue everything. So it allows people to rediscover old classics, old gems, and old turd piles that they finally put out on Blue.
You don't want to change the show to that name? Old Turd Piles. I kind of like that.
I have a feeling a lot of people won't want to listen just based on the name. I don't know why. Maybe Old Turd Piles doesn't sound like something you want to have on your iPod.
I still think that scat category of people hasn't really been tapped into yet. I mean, oh, not that scat. I'm talking about a totally different thing, but scatological. So
like playing with their own poo.
Now,
2 girls, 1 cup, and my chest,
which I still have not seen and will not. Now, you want to tell people about this new podcast that we're going to do? I know a lot of people have heard about it already, but just to remind them, since we're starting tonight.
Tuesday morning, you and I are going to have a new podcast that'll be up. It'll be up like Monday night / Tuesday morning, and it's going to be all the DVDs and Blu-rays that come out that day. We're going to, kind of run through the list and talk about what's coming out. And it's a great chance for me and you to talk about older movies or movies that came out 5-6 months ago and kind of share our feelings on them and debate and do the kind of things we may not have been able to do in the earlier reviews. So,
Excelente. All right. And since we're reminding people about new stuff, next week, I know I've been getting asked a lot about what are the details on the festival coming up. Hotels, videos, the contest rules and details for the Spill.com Film Festival. All that stuff will hopefully be up by the end of next week. So in the form of videos and in the form of a microsite that people can go to off of Spill.com. So more details coming later, but yes, you will have all that information. We're gonna have two separate videos, hopefully, one for the Spill.con and one for the Spill Film Festival. So two separate videos detailing everything for that. They should be pretty cool, so look for those. I guess I should tell people, no, we got our music people coming in. We got Del the Funky Homo Sapien coming in. We got
Really?
Yeah, we got Maceo from De La Soul coming in just to spend like a 2-hour set, just to have people just hang out and mingle while he's like spinning records.
It's just him and not the rest.
No, because we were looking for a DJ. And
so is it good? So he's just gonna be me instead of me, myself, and I.
That's it, just me. I'm
actually a fan, so I had to.
I was about to say, yeah, you remember that, just me, myself, and I. Yeah, I think he's the La of De La Soul that's gonna be coming in. So yeah, so yeah, he just come in. We just want a DJ, and he offered, and he's like, yeah, you know what, I can do that. And we're like, oh, if you just want to come in and spin records, great, man, that's cool. And so.
Yeah.
So he's coming in, and then we got some other stuff, some other stuff on Friday night with musicians. I think still trying to get Joe Dante could not make it, and because he said he finally wrote back and said I got a schedule conflict, which means I just don't want to show up. So
John,
I know, I was so upset, but I'm looking at some other people. I'm like looking at now. Cyrus actually suggested someone, and at first I was like, well, I don't know if we want to do just internet centric people, but then he threw Felicia Day out there from the Guild. And
that's so him.
It is. But then I looked her up, and she has a big fan base, and I thought like,
you had to look her up. I know exactly who she is. She's awesome.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize she was on Dr. Horrible and.
No, she's that's why he's a fan of hers. Is she's one of the Whedon family.
Exactly. Yeah, she was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I was like, okay, I know this chick is. I didn't really know her name, but I was like, you know what? She's big on the internet with the Guild, so I thought it might be a really cool internet forum to talk about since we're an internet entity, and she is too, and it's like trying to be cool to talk to her about how to be successful on the internet without having to take your clothes off. So. I thought she'd be really cool. So he had a really good point there. That was his suggestion. I'm gonna give him credit for that if we can get her. If not, I'm trying to talk to Aaron McGruber. I'm throwing it out there for anybody now to like come by who I think would be a good fit. And
see, this is where you're supposed to call me.
Okay, well then you and I shall talk about this
after this. I'll see. I can see if I can pull some strings. They're small, weak, thin strings, but I have strings that can be pulled and tugged every once in a while.
Hey man, I'm taking any strings I can get at this point. I mean, and we don't really look. We don't really need it. I'm just trying to add some variety because there's so much hip hop coming through. I mean, we have the film festival, and the reason why we have a lot of hip hop coming through is because our first year with a very small budget. Hip hop artists don't bring bands. You know what I mean?
No, they don't.
No, they bring a DJ and then they bring themselves, and that's like 2 hotel rooms and 2 flights instead of having to bring a whole band over, which I would love to bring like other DJs and bands and whatnot for a little variety of music. But hey, we got to start out with what we can get this year. Next year we'll see if we can spice it up a little bit more. But the way I look at it, Friday night, if we can't get anybody, the thing that I said, and I don't mean this to be pompous, I just said, really, if you get down to it, Joe Dante can't, or anybody else can't do anything that we ourselves can't do on a Friday night as far as like opening up and greeting people. I figured that would be our live podcast meet and greet panel, hang with the crew, and then we go to our big party that night, and then we go to our bigger party on Saturday after the film festival, and then on Sunday night we have a cooling down cocktail party, and with DJs and live art show. So it's going to be a fun weekend, man, whether we get somebody else or not. I'm not too worried about it, but I would just like for the audience out there, for the members, to give them a little variety, and if we can get somebody, fine. If we can't, then I'm really not sweating it that much.
I guess this is the point in time where we can say, hey, if for some bizarre reason we actually have a famous or semi-famous person who listens to the podcast, now would be the time to drop us an email and say, hey, I like you guys. I'd love to come out.
Yeah, please. I'll take at this point. I'll take the guy that's in the Chuck E. Cheese costume, in L.A. or anything. No, we're not that desperate. Really, we're not desperate at all. Like I said, if we can get somebody to come through, great. If not, I think us people. After all, people are coming to see us. In addition to the parties and whatnot, I'm not very worried about it. We can open up that thing, great. So, I'm not sweating it. Not gonna force anything.
We're not going to sweat to the oldies.
I don't know. We might have some oldies in there. That might be our first contest. Get the oldest person to get in there and shake it and sweat it like no other. Now that now that I put that vision in your head, why don't we move on?
It's time for the top 5.
Yes. Yes. I like your enthusiasm, man. Had me pumped.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. This week because
depressing.
Well, I don't know. It's nothing that I didn't really see possibly coming, but I'm not so depressed because some movies did well that deserve to do well and continue to do well, and then some movies that we thought were cool kind of fell off a little bit, and then the real sufferers are some of the newcomers that we have.
Well, and it's a weird week because there's so many films that all are within the same $1 million bracket. They're all within like the $8 to $10 million zone, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there was no big winner this weekend.
No one really made a whole lot of money this weekend, and they say that the box office actually suffered because of that. But when we say suffer, we just mean like no one really made any money, and they really they ask for the new films opening up to be the ones to kind of bring up the numbers, and wasn't like that this week. So you want to start out with number 5?
The number 5 film.
Yes, sir. That would be
Kick-Ass,
which fell off over 50%, 52% this week to bring in a weekend gross of $9.5 million. The gross for that movie is $34.9 million. It cost $30 million to make, so while it fell off, it still exceeded its budget a little bit.
Yeah, at the same time, well, it's supposed budget. There are numbers all over the place on this. I've heard that it cost under 30 to make. I've heard that it cost under 50 to make. I heard that Lionsgate has some kind of profit participation and only paid like somewhere between $15 and $20 million for it. There's all sorts of weird things all over the place, and no two people have given me the same answer. So nobody knows where it is. But this film, ultimately, people were talking last weekend about it failing, about it not doing well. It is going to make its money back and then some. When you add foreign, when you add DVD, and this thing's going to live on DVD for a while. So I think it's going to ultimately be one of those films that just is a moneymaker for quite some time.
We can kind of say that about 96, 7, 8% of the movies out there now. When they go to DVD, that's where the real market is now.
Well, once they hit DVD, they usually make their money back.
Yeah.
But this will actually keep making money. I think this is going to be one of those culty films that people buy for years and discover over time. It's like, oh yeah, I never saw that. I should watch it. Oh my God, that's awesome. I have to go out and buy this right now. And then every time a new format comes out, you've got to buy it again, and then there's special features on the new one that you never saw, and a restored soundtrack where they got the rights to all the stuff that was in the original cut that people talked about, and any number of those things, and people will keep buying it over and over again. And I think this is going to be one of those movies. But interestingly, it is currently number 5. Mm-hmm. It might be number 4 because it's only $105,000 short of the number 4 film, which is
living up to its name, which is what a lot of people are saying about it, is The Losers.
The Losers
brought in $9.6 million this weekend, premiering at number 4, and its budget was $25 million. So not a whole lot, like you said, not a whole lot to catch up on when it comes to DVD, when our Blu-ray or whatever the format's going to be when we get around to it. But it's seen as a disappointment. A lot of people did not care to see this.
What did you guys give this?
Rental.
All of you?
Well, co-host gave it some bullshit, but I don't know. He's kind of a ratings extremist these days.
Yeah, I'm teetering on the matinee to Rental myself, but really, I hope you guys talked about how just fucking awful Jason Patric was in that movie?
We did. We talked about
Oh,
just how cartoony he was and how silly he was. But I tell you what, he was so cartoonish in this movie that there were times that I actually enjoyed him. Now, you remember how you guys talked about Homeboy that was in The Legend of Chun-Li?
yeah, Chris Klein.
Chris Klein. Now, not he wasn't that bad or that extreme or that enjoyable in a bad way. He's just, I mean, there's just some things that he does where you're just like, wow, this guy is to the point of being wacky. And he's making me laugh because of that, not because of any real talent on his part or the director's part. And Jason Patric, I don't think is a bad actor. It's just, he was given like a really hammy part that just didn't work for him.
Yeah, and I think he took it and did it just plain wrong. I disagree with the Chris Klein thing, because the thing about Chris Klein is why he was so awesome was you couldn't tell if he was kidding or not, because he was just so freaking awful, and he wasn't hamming it up like Jason Patric clearly was. And the rest of The Legend of Chun-Li is fucking terrible. I mean, it's awful. It's hilariously bad. Whereas everything else in The Losers is actually kind of fun.
See, that we didn't think that. I gotta disagree with you on that. I thought like it was pretty cool with the actors. I like seeing the actors, but as far as the movie goes, it was like, this is one of those over stylized film that's trying to be too cool for its own good, and it's trying to be too much of a comic book, where it's just an action film.
Yeah, I disagree. I never thought it was. I thought the only times it was a comic book was when Jason Patric was on. Like everything else was a really cool action movie. I had a lot of fun with everybody in this. I thought that the cast was fun. I thought everybody had a great chemistry. I even think the sniper whose job was to just sit there and brood, I thought he brooded magnificently. He's like, I have 2 lines in this movie and I will own both of them. And it was awesome, and I thought it was a lot of fun. And every time Jason Patric came on, he just sucked the oxygen out of the room. And in fact, the scene where he showed up and did his thing, and then just it left, and it cut back to The Losers. My wife just turned to me and she's like, "Okay, I kind of hate this movie now." And and every time he came on, she just looked at me and like it was my fault. It's like, I want him gone too. And yeah, I think
You fucking do this to me.
I'm eagerly awaiting when this hits DVD and then the fan edit community gets a hold of it, because there will be people who go and just edit him out of the movie or do a Kill Bill thing on him where they'll edit around him to where we never see him, and then they'll cut out all the stupid bullshit like him killing his own goons and shit like that.
See, I don't think people care enough to make any fan films about this.
Oh, you have no idea. You do not understand the fan edit community. The fan edit community, they will take the most mediocre film and go, I know how to make this better. I have seen some really bizarre fan edits. They're really cool, too. I mean, I've seen there's one fan edit where somebody took both the Texas Chainsaw Massacres and re-edited them together into a single 97-minute movie that was just a narrative about Leatherface. And you literally follow Leatherface through the movie rather than the characters. And it's really cool and creepy. And it was really well done. They take the deleted scenes and any other materials they can cobble together in the film, and they sit down with their editing bay and they just re-edit it into something new. There's a really cool version of Jaws out there where they re-edited Jaws and then gridded it up to make it look like a exploitation film. And so Jaws feels like a 70s exploitation film instead of the really well-crafted movie that it is.
Exploitation film? I mean, are we talking about like black exploitation film? Like,
yeah. We're like, it feels like it's cheap and gory for the sake of being gory and just goofy fun.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the shark was going around eating whitey and slapping hoes, I didn't...
No, not like a true black exploitation.
I would love to see that fan edit if somebody can do that.
Oh, a black shark?
Yeah, a shark with an afro or something, knowing karate and all this shit.
No, they just call it... Oh, wait, no, they did make that. It was called The Shark's Tale.
I guess. Well, Will Smith was more like a black guppy, not really a shark, right? But anyway,
more like a dolphin. It's really a gay shark.
But man, okay, you know what? George Lucas should hire these people. But you obviously like The Losers more than we did. But I'm glad to hear your opinion of it, because I didn't get to hear what you thought about it.
Yeah, but I'm not in love. I think it's a high rental.
All right. Well, you want to go up to number 3?
The number 3 film.
Ooh, damn! You might want to check your pants on that one. Make sure you didn't like shit out blood or anything. You put everything in there.
I think a ball of mine just rolled across the floor.
You want to go catch it? I can wait. You can go grab it. Let's see. That is holding at number 3 from last week is still Date Night, which this week brought in $10.6 million. Its gross is 63.5, and looked like that movie's doing all right. Budget was $55 million.
Doing all right. It's made its profit, and it hasn't even hit DVD yet. It's doing real well for what it is. It's not doing great, but for this time of year, I mean, it made its money back. It left a solid comedy in theaters, and it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, it's hanging in there. It's one of those movies that nobody's really paying attention to, but at the same time, like when they talk about things not doing well for the weekend, or the weekend box office going down low, they overlook that film because it's easy to overlook, but it's not doing so bad. So you want to go to number 2?
Number 2 film.
And there goes the other ball rolling across the floor. You might want to catch that one too. But let's see. That would be the backup plan. J-Lo, the return of J-Lo, brought in $12.3 million. A lot of people thought that this would do better because this is the kind of territory that someone like J-Lo or who's Jennifer Lopez, by the way. I hate saying J-Lo.
Well, let's just call her Jello.
Jello, because she got Jello in her ass. I mean, the way that shit jiggles. Hell yeah, jiggling, baby. Go ahead, baby.
But it's like a pudding pop. You'd put it in your mouth and suck it down for a couple
pudding
hours.
Pop for her, nice and creamy. No, so people like J-Lo has been compared to people like Jennifer Aniston or even Sandra Bullock in a way where she does well in romantic comedies. And there was a time where she was making really shitty romantic comedies, and
there was a time? That time is now, motherfucker.
And apparently she has returned to full form with this. I didn't see it.
She never left. When was the last time she made a halfway decent romantic comedy?
Oh, you know what? She made a movie that I thought that she was really good in. The movie wasn't great, but I didn't think it was bad. It was about that Cuban singer. She starred in it with Mark Anthony.
Oh, yeah, and nobody fucking saw it?
And no one saw it except for me. I think I was the only one, and maybe a couple other Mexicans in the theater who thought they were seeing Selena Part 2. But no, it wasn't bad, and she was really good in it. And then after that, she disappeared for a little while to be a family woman.
Was that El Contente?
Yes, that was, and she was all right in that movie.
That was the last time she was in a film.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's the last time she was in a movie. And really, I'm one of those people who stick by saying that she wasn't that bad. The movie was all right.
But that wasn't a romantic comedy.
No, it was not a romantic comedy.
No, her romantic. That. Let me run down the list of the Jennifer Lopez rom-com filmography. The last rom-com she brought us was Monster-in-Law.
Oh, that was awesome, man. You didn't like that?
Before that, Jersey Girl.
Oh, jeez, that was right before that?
Yep, Gigli.
Damn.
Made in Manhattan.
Damn.
The Wedding Planner.
Damn.
Yeah, that was.
You can stop. We get the point. Shit.
Yeah, no. Let's there's a smattering of other things in there. I can mention her other mediocre or bad films like Enough or Angel Eyes.
No, you know what? Don't get me wrong. I do remember all of those movies because I've seen them all. And
she's never made a good romantic comedy.
No, her
romantic comedies are so bad that my mother owns all of them. That is how bad they are.
Oh Jesus, man! I think my mom even had a couple, but I remember just hating, absolutely hating. The best one out of all that, the one I thought I would hate the most because of the press behind it, the one where people said is the worst movie ever made, Gigli, where she made it with Ben Affleck.
Gigli's actually, it's got its own charm to it.
It's not the worst. That movie it was a victim of overexposure between her and Ben Affleck.
It was a victim of not knowing what kind of movie they were fucking making because those are two distinctly different tones in that movie. Half the movie is a romantic comedy. The other half of the movie is a mobster film in which people get their heads blown off. And it was like, who's this movie for? The women who drag the boyfriends don't want to watch the rom-com bullshit, and the girlfriends don't want to watch guys get their heads blown off. But there's some pretty awesome violence.
It's not a good movie at all, though. I mean, they had one really annoying central character in there, and that was the
retarded kid.
yeah.
I'm the retarded kid who wants to go see Baywatch.
Yeah, he wanted to see Baywatch.
Let's go
Yeah,
see Baywatch.
and that kid, he was the guy. He was the groom from what is it? The Hangover.
Oh God, he wasn't he?
Yeah, because I remember I was like, where have I seen this guy before? And I was just like, oh shit, it's that guy. He's a little taller and lost a little weight. And I was like, wow, you know what? And I just saw that guy in a movie recently where it was about drug smuggling Jews, Hasidic Jews. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah. But
You talking about Holy Rollers?
yes, I saw that Sundance where he was actually really good. And that's the first time I saw that guy and didn't hold the grudge of Gigli over him. But yeah, Gigli was not the worst J-Lo movie like a lot of people want to say it is. Those fucking like Made in Manhattan and Monster-in-Law, I've seen them all. And even and well, I don't want to really count it for Jersey Girl because she wasn't in there a whole lot of time. But yeah, she's made some really fucking annoying movies that I just walked out and said I'm beginning to hate this woman. And then I saw El Cantante and I was like, you know what? She's not in a romantic comedy. She's actually okay.
I gotta say, this is the worst of the romantic comedies.
I didn't see it. Is this really that bad?
Bad. It's so bad, dude.
And see, you are the romantic comedy guy, so
yeah,
I was wanting to know your opinion.
Movies. Yeah, no, I love these movies, and this movie made me angry. I fucking hated this movie. It is goddamn awful.
Wow, Leon was the one that was actually the most lenient. I mean, so Cyrus and Cole, they were like, man, this is pure bullshit.
Well, but you know how Leon is. Leon walked in. He's like, man, there's gonna be some bullshit, but I'll get paid. And you watch it. He goes, hey, look, that was some bullshit. All right, it is. But the thing is the audience ate it up. They were like, oh, it's hilarious. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, I love it. I love it when they scoop the turd out of the wading pool. It's hilarious.
Oh, is that the joke that they were? Because Cyrus was like, they have a pregnancy joke in here that is so disgusting. I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. No, what happens is there's a woman giving birth in a wading pool, and her bowels evacuate, and just a woman walks up with one of those fish nets for, aquariums, an aquarium net, just reaches in and picks up a turd and walks away.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, you know what? See, this
movie is some old bullshit. Bordering on fuck this movie. I hated this film. It was fucking awful.
God damn, all right. Based on that joke alone, I'm just kind of like, you know what, fuck you.
You have no need to see this. Fuck this movie, seriously.
Shit, don't worry about it. I won't see it. It's one of those things I'll easily would probably pass when it's on cable, because I'm usually forgiving on cable. I'm like, I'm curious to know how bad this was. If I missed it, I'm just like, at this point now, my time is too valuable. So anyway, you want to go to number one?
To the 12 seconds we'll spend time about the number one movie. Back in the top spot again.
This week, How to Train Your Dragon. This week brought in
How to Train Your Dragon, yo. As opposed to its sequel, How to Train Your Dragon, motherfucker.
Damn, is that the sequel?
That's going to be the sequel.
Is DreamWorks already talking about that?
Well, yeah, you know how DreamWorks is. Whenever they have something successful, they blackify it.
Oh, gonna get an all-black cast.
Yeah, it's going to be an all-black cast, all-black dragons, and it's going to be How to Train Your Dragon, motherfucker.
Everybody copy each other, man, in Hollywood. They saw Death at a Funeral being remade with an all-black cast, and they said, you know what? Let's do the same with How to Train Your Dragon. So that made it made $15 million this weekend and brought its gross up to $178 million. The movie cost $165. It has been in the top 5 for 5 weeks. They're talking about how this movie is one of those rare films that would go down in the top 5 and then shoot back up to number 1. I think the last time that was done, I was reading about this earlier, it was done with when The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe came back up to beat out Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I think.
Yep, when you have children's films out there, when you've got films the whole family can go see together and enjoy and see more than once, it will stay in the top 5 for a while. Yeah. And if everything else starts dipping, I mean, that's the big thing.
I'm sorry, it was not Charlie and Chocolate Factory. It came back up to beat out King Kong.
Right. Yeah, which dropped off, very quickly.
Yeah, major, yeah.
Because it wasn't all that great. But what you have here, How to Train Your Dragon isn't doing really well. It's just not suffering the drop-off that everything else is. I mean, Kick-Ass did well last week and then lost half of its revenue this week. And you're seeing movies pop up and then pop back down. Clash of the Titans showed up and knocked it out. and then has since fallen, while How to Train Your Dragon has stayed steady. And it just goes to show you how well people are liking that film.
Yeah, it's kind of a success by just timing. There's just some movies that have showed up that have, for some reason, have just maybe appeared okay or well, and then just fell off. And hey, there's always How to Train Your Dragon there ready to take its place, and it's a family film, so there's something that people will always take their kids to for a while to see, especially since there's nothing really out there right now for kids to go see besides Disney's Oceans, which is one of the other premieres this week. That premiered on just a little bit above 1,000 screens and brought in $6 million. I think it had a Wednesday release, so its gross is $8 million. Wait a minute, holy fuck, is that true? The budget on this is $80 million?
Which one?
Oceans. Disney's, I guess, is released by Disney Buena Vista, which is the same thing pretty much. Oceans was brought in $8.5 million this week. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because it's another release this week. But I'm just looking at this, and it says that the budget on this is $80 fucking million.
It's possible, but I don't know what this probably is. I'm not too familiar with the story behind this, but this looked very much like that documentary that came out last year or the year before about where we followed the three animals.
It was one with where you followed the polar bears.
Yeah, where all that footage was cut out of another out of a whole series of documentaries that was taken from Planet Earth.
Yeah,
and they just cut out. They got extra footage of those things and created a narrative around that. That might be where the $80 million is, because I think this might be footage from the new one that's coming out. In fact, it comes out on DVD here next month. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it's the new version of Planet Earth. And it might be one of those where, hey, look, this is how much that whole documentary cost, and we're releasing part of it in theaters.
Yeah, that's kind of misleading, though. I mean, I don't know. I have to look that up, because I know Disney didn't gamble $80 million on a movie that they know was going to perform marginally.
You can't make it. The only person in the world that can make an $80 million documentary just made Avatar. So, I sincerely doubt they spent $80 million making a documentary.
Yeah, I do too. There's something up with that. But anyway, not especially releasing it on 1,000 screens, and fuck that. Disney would be shit. Somebody would not only lose their job, but lose their fucking life for making that decision. That mouse would come in and shoot them himself. But that's the top 5, man. I'm looking to see if there's anything else new up there, anything interesting. No, that's it.
No, in fact, we did that we front-loaded it, so now we can just jump right into questions.
I'm all for that. You have any tweets?
I do. TDK, I'm assuming that's the Dark Knight Don Shogun Jr.
Oh, shit.
He asks, who do you want to be Moriarty in Sherlock Holmes 2? I want David Tennant. He seems he could be on the same level as RDJ.
Didn't they already say that Brad Pitt was going to do it? Or was that just a rumor?
I think it's a rumor, but I think it's a likely rumor. I think Brad Pitt, and I want Brad Pitt. I think he would be great. The only person I could think as a better Moriarty, I would like to see, and all of a sudden I am blanking on his name.
That guy.
Kevin Spacey.
You know what, man? I like Kevin Spacey. I got spaced out a few years ago because Kevin Spacey just started kind of going through his acting bag of tricks. I'm not saying he's not a great actor. He is, but
wouldn't he make a great Moriarty though?
I agree with the Shonuff Ninja Man, Batman 3000, whatever his name.
David Tennant.
Yeah, I love David Tennant. David Tennant was the last Doctor Who. They got a new guy now, and I think that guy he's got some real charm, man, and that's the kind of charm that would work for a really cool villain. And I want to see this guy be used for something else. People threw his name around for the Riddler for a while. And that was just wishful thinking on the part of the fans. And I thought he would have made a great Riddler. I just want to see the guy do something else. And I think that would be the perfect thing for him to do. But I'm like you. I think that they're going to go with Brad Pitt because it's just been too tossed around already.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's great. I'm serious about Kevin Spacey, though. I think he would be awesome.
And I have no problem with Brad Pitt. I see a lot of people I'm not in that crowd of people that hates Brad Pitt because he's too good looking or because he's married to Angelina Jolie and we always see him in the news for like just bullshit about his personal life. Because really, I could give a fuck about him and Angelina Jolie and Jennifer Aniston. Really, I'm sick of them. I wish they all fucking go to hell with that. But I think he's a great actor, though. He's done some really bad things, but I think he's a great actor.
Well, so who is the new Doctor Who? Isn't that like Nick Clegg?
Don't know the guy's name. I'm looking and I always see him on
all
billboards.
All the British listeners at home are yelling at me right now. Nick Clegg is actually running as their Obama, which means since he's British, he's white.
Of course.
But he's the new big liberal Democrat guy over there that everybody loves, and
they're about to go.
That's actually what they're called. They're called the Liberal Democrats.
Well, because they're going through a conservative swing right now over there in Britain right now. So, but yeah, I don't know who the new Doctor is, but
Doctor Who. Hey, Doctor Who. Hey,
right.
the TARDIS.
You goddamn geek. What else you got?
Well, let's see here. That's an excellent question. Which do you think feel is this is from Grog 42. Which do you feel is worth? A remake that repeats the original film beat for beat, or a remake in name alone?
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, repeat that?
Which do you think is worse? A remake that repeats the original film beat for beat, or a remake in name alone?
Well, yeah, I think it's worse for a movie to do it beat for beat because what are you adding to it? At least a movie that does it in name alone is trying to do something different.
I have to disagree. I think they're both bad, but I'd have to go the remake in name alone. The one that makes me angry because usually there was something cool they could do with it, and instead what they did is they just stole the name. And I want them to do something somewhat different with a remake. But let's face it, if it comes down to those two options, I'll take the beat for beat remake over the name alone any day.
See, I'm the other way. It's like it's pointless to me to do something just beat for beat. And I'm talking about straight up Psycho style, where we had Gus Van Sant do Psycho, like pretty much did it beat for beat. It's pointless to me. At least, like I said, at least with somebody. And I'm not saying the other way is perfect, where they take a title and don't give you the movie, but at least you're getting something different. And especially, hey, look, it might be a different movie, but it might be good. Where I think the chances are slim if you're trying to make a movie beat for beat. That's already you lose two ways if you try to do a movie beat for beat. If it's a classic film, there's no way you're going to trump the classic or even be comparable to it. And if you try to remake a bad film beat for beat, well, you're going to end up with the same thing. I mean, for example, take Death at a Funeral, which except for black people was almost a beat for beat film, and it still had the same problems as the first one. But that's me, You and I are apparently on different sides of the fence on that. But hey,
there's a shocker.
Hey, it has. That's not the first time it has happened, and you know what? I dare say, my dear Carlisle, it won't be the last.
It will not be the fucking last.
not just the last, but not the fucking last.
All right, Rick Didass.
Oh, what? What's his name?
Didass.
Is that like did ass? Like he just did somebody's ass?
Did AZ is in did Arizona, like all of Arizona, motherfucker, even the old bitches. He says, I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. If blockbuster movies will take over the theater and smaller movies go straight to Netflix, will they be nominated by the Oscars? And this is one of those things where this is a procedural thing, and this is a really easy question to answer. Yes and no. In order to be nominated for an Oscar, your film has to play in theaters in New York and L.A. or New York or L.A. for at least a week-long engagement. So that's why you'll find a film only opening in L.A. or New York for a week. It's so that it can get Oscar consideration before going direct to DVD or direct to VOD. Or like you're seeing this week, which will not be nominated by the Oscars, but there's a film that's that's going on VOD on Wednesday. It's called The Human Centipede First Sequence. Mm-hmm. And then on starting Friday, it's going to play in limited theaters for late night engagements. So you'll be able to see it in a theater for a week or two in select cities, or you can watch it on VOD, and that's where we're starting to see things go.
Yeah.
And that is a fucked up movie. Did you see it?
No, I've been wanting to see it. I know there's you and Cyrus have screeners. I was thinking to ask, but it's just I don't know. I'm not prepared to watch it yet. Just not in the mood. Sometimes I'm in a good mood and thinking about asking to watch that movie. And
It's gonna be on VOD on Wednesday.
all right, well then I might have to check it out. I don't want to spend no money on that shit though. Put me in a.
I don't know, man.
crazy mood.
It's pretty fucked up.
You know what? And the thing is, I've seen some fucked up movies where they're so fucked up that I love them, and I love putting them on to shock people. So
That's what this is.
It might be my movie, man.
I mean, it was one of those things where my wife came in, I was watching it, and my wife came in, and she's like, oh, hey, is this that Caterpillar movie? And I'm like, yeah, it's Human Centipede. And she's like, oh, I heard this was fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, it's fucked up. She's like, this doesn't look so bad. I'm like, and I pause it. I'm like, all right, baby, I love you. I will be happy to let you sit down and watch this with me, but I'm not going to let you sit down and watch it until I tell you what it's about. Because you have to know this sitting down, because I don't want you to sit here and see it without knowing what's coming. She goes, all right, fine, tell me. And I go and I lay it out for her and explain what the movie's about. And she just looks at me and walks out of the room. And then from across the house, she's like, why did you tell me that? I was in such a good mood. Fuck you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and then from across the room, she projectile vomited on me.
Across the house, she was yelling at me, and it's like, I'm sorry, baby, but would you rather have heard it and seen it? And she's like, no, thank you for telling me. I love you.
Fucking couch tonight.
But she was in a bad mood for the rest of the night because that would not leave her head. It is that kind of fucked up movie.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't want to be put in a bad mood these days. But at the same time,
I might love it. You'll watch it and you'll. Do you know what it's about yet? Has anyone told you?
Yeah, I know almost everything about it at this point. About the sewing people together and like the defecating in people's mouth.
Don't spoil it for people out there in Spill Land, dude.
All right,
you do it.
I'm not spoiling. I'm preparing.
You're peppering. You're spraying.
There you go. Peppering.
Well, why don't you pull out one of your big email questions, Big Daddy?
Got a good one here. Ooh, I love when you call me Daddy. Okay, let's see. We got a question here from the Gaming King. As in, this guy is the king of all gaming, Carlisle. And he says, with the upcoming Get Him to the Greek and MacGruber being spinoffs of popular characters from movies and TV, and as you told, I heard you and Cyrus having a conversation, Get Him to the Greek is a spinoff of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Who's the comedian in there? Who played the rock star in
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand is playing his character from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and of course MacGruber is a quick sketch, whatever on sketch. What am I get that fucking word? Sketch on Saturday Night Live.
MacGruber.
Oh, he's the guy's a freaking genius.
MacGruber.
He says, are there any characters from movies or TV that you would like to see get a spin-off movie? You want to answer that first?
No, I don't, because I was not prepared for a question like that. I have not been asked that question before.
Okay.
So why don't you run, and I will. I'll try to think if I can think of a spin-off.
Okay. I thought that the cops from what is it?
Superbad.
Superbad. I was wanting to see them get their own movie. I love those guys.
Their own cop movie.
Like a little cop buddy movie, but it was like where they're real fuck ups, and it's like not one of those films where it turns into like Cop Out, or it turns into like that cross between cop and serious action like Pineapple Express. No, I want to see them actually be fuck up cops through the whole film and get in trouble themselves and maybe on the run. I don't know, in some funny way.
It sounds like you're describing a Jody Hill film, and that scares the crap out of me.
I don't know, man. I love those guys. Had me laughing, and I just want to see them get caught up in like an adventure that night. Not like I say, not some kind of like action thing where they're on the run from criminals, but something like where they're like I don't know, they get caught up in sort of like a hangover, or they get caught up in the same situation as the kids from Superbad. They have the table spun on them. So yeah, that's my answer right there.
I can't think of anything. I could give the geek answer and say I'd like to see a Transformers spinoff where Michael Bay makes a movie about the Transformers instead of the kid running around with the Transformers.
Well, that's better than I thought you were gonna say like the Negro bots getting their own movie. So I accept that answer. And even though that would be kind of
spots.
yeah, that'd be kind of interesting to see. Actually, I'd be mad as hell about it, but I'd be lying if I say I wasn't interested. But so you can't think of anything else then?
No, there's nothing coming to mind. Something I always wanted to see. Maybe I'd like to see Guy Ritchie return to Snatch and make a film just about Turkish and follow Turkish around.
Yeah.
For a movie.
That's a Jason Statham
I would love to see Jason Statham as Turkish again and getting into another kind of fucked up thing where it's kind of, not really an oh, not again kind of thing, but where he's caught up in some other crime. I'd like to, because that was a character I really liked. And then we could pepper in some of the other characters, but I'd like to follow around Jason Statham.
Well, you love pepper, don't you? You love pepper and stuff.
Right? I'm all about the salt and pepper right now.
Hey, that could be the name of a new contest, Salt and Pepper. I'm going to be Salt, by the way.
Pepper. I love how you say pepper like a white guy says it.
I have to be careful
pepper.
because if I say pepper, then I'll be getting in probably some sort of legal thing with salt and pepper. Yeah, there you go. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get sued. So, you know what? I also want to see, and they already did a spinoff, but they did it as a TV show. But I love those penguins from Madagascar so much. I like them better than the movie. That I wanted because they had a short before. Some DreamWorks movie. It wasn't even Madagascar. It was like a Christmas short, and it was hilarious, man, those penguins. And I want to see those penguins get their own movie. Now, they already have the show on Nickelodeon. I've seen it. It's all right. It's not bad. But I really want to see them with their own film. And so I don't know if that's going to happen because, well, they got a show now. Unless the show is kicking ass, and maybe they will do that. I don't know. But I love those penguins. The penguins of Madagascar. Let me see. I'm going to try and read one more if I can.
Oh, I've got here's a good quick one for you.
Okay.
Alaril asks, how many times must I call Corey for him to finally accept my Skype call?
Who the fuck? Who asked you that?
Alaril, Aleril. Maybe it's Ailril, but it's Alaril.
Jesus, man.
How many times do they need to call you, Corey, before you'll accept their Skype call?
At this point, never, because I'm gonna avoid this guy.
How about Corey is a busy motherfucker, and it's hard enough for me to get a hold of him, and I work with the dude.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I answer random calls on Skype. I don't mind talking to people, but there's no set thing. I mean, I'm not spending all day just answering calls. And here's the deal. Okay. I'll give you this. I can answer that very, very well. Why don't you send me a text message instead of trying to call me first? Because sometimes things will pop up and people say, "Is this Corey from Spill? How are you doing?" And I might take about 5 minutes going back and forth to show you I appreciate talking to you, and then maybe we'll talk again some other day, maybe we won't. But it's better than trying to call me, because if I see some name on there that I don't recognize and it's a phone call, I don't answer, because a lot of times I'm busy at that moment, and the thing that somebody's going to say is, "Hey man, how you doing? So what are you up to right now?" I don't have time to chit chat.
And I guess the big question is whether or not your name sounds like a chick's name. If your Skype name sounds like a chick's name, Corey will pick that shit up. Hey, how's it going? Like, God damn it. It sounds like a dude. He ain't answering.
Now you're going to have these, guys calling me in a Trojan horse vagina type thing. They're going to come in a giant vagina, and I'm going to open up the door, and it's going to be a dude.
Fully aware of what I am doing.
God
I have just fucked up Skype for you forever, my friend.
Jesus Christ. I wish people, if you want me to never talk to you again, I wish you would pull that. But hey, look, I to be honest, if you were a chick and doing the same thing, I'm busy these days, and it would be like, "Sweetheart, I'm sorry. You might be the hottest chick in the world. I don't have time to sit up here and say, 'Oh yeah, how you doing?' Blah, blah, blah."
Fuck you, Corey. I love you, man. I love you. We've been friends for a long time, but seriously, I don't think those words have ever escaped your mouth except right here bullshitting us.
That should show you how busy I am these days.
Yes. If the hottest chick in the world called you, you would not hang that shit up.
Okay.
If it were Megan Fox on that phone, you would be on there for hours. You'd be, "Sorry, Jamie, I'm busy."
She'd have to get a thumb transplant. Then I really would pick up the phone and talk to her. I would do that. She has a toe
really?
thumb. No, that toe thumb does not bother me at all, which is why when guys say, "Man, she's got a toe thumb," I wouldn't do shit with that. I would be like, "You'll fucking lie too. You'd fuck that thumb by itself if you had a chance." But yeah, no, okay, look, yeah, if it's the hottest girl in the world, it just be like, yeah, of course I'm gonna answer the phone. But how often does that happen? You could be a good-looking chick, and if I'm busy at the moment, I'm busy. I got a lot on the line right now, so just text me first. Send me a picture of yourself if you're hot, and then we'll see if we can talk.
So listen to your Uncle Corey and your Uncle Carlisle. If you want to get Corey to answer a Skype call, you find a picture of a non-famous hot chick or a hot friend and text him with a link to the picture saying, "Hey Corey, it's me, 14 and hot from Spill. Here's my picture. Oops, it was the one with the bikini. I'm sorry. Tee hee hee." Corey will answer your fucking call.
Now keep in mind that if it happens really soon after this, I'm gonna know that is a fucking joke. And on top of
I'm destroying your Skype life forever, my friend.
I tell you what, somebody tried that, and it wasn't with Skype. It was through some other means. I still don't know. It might have been a chick, but I was just real skeptical. Somebody was sending me pictures of themselves, and of themselves topless and with panties on and doing all kind of poses, and I was thinking, this is too good to be true. I don't buy this for a moment. And I was like, you're full of shit, whatever. And they tried one more time and didn't hear back from them. So I'm pretty good at this game. We can try, but I gotta let you know.
Did you hear that, everyone? He just challenged you. He said he's good at this game.
My skills are good, but please.
Are your skills mad?
They will be mad if people start fucking with me this way. But hey, man, let's go on to another question for you get somebody in trouble out there. This is from The Chosen One, and they say, what directors do you think have a lot of talent, but have what the fuck? What directors do you think have a lot of talent but have not tapped into their abilities fully? I had to rephrase that. This person says, I think it's Robert Rodriguez. Who do you think? I don't know, man. It's one of those general questions that I'm really not crazy about. But, okay, why not? Let me see. Who can I think of? You know anybody right now that you think?
Peter Billingsley.
Really?
Yeah, Peter Billingsley, really talented. He's been producing films for Favreau since the turn of the century. I mean, he's got 10 years under his belt. He's a good guy. He's a really talented guy, and he made a successful movie, but not a movie up to what I believe he is capable of. And of course, that was what was that called? What was that movie from late last year that he directed? His first one
was the one on the beach.
The
Couples Retreat.
Couples Retreat. He directed Couples Retreat. He's much better than that. I've met the guy a couple of times. Really smart guy, funny guy, really talented. And hanging out with guys like Favreau, I know that he's tapped into a lot of talent. And they made a lot of money on that movie. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they did exactly what they needed to do. They made a very profitable film for his first film. But I don't think we've seen what he's capable of. I think he's capable of much better, and I think he's got a really brilliant comedy under the surface waiting to be made.
This is going to be kind of an old answer, but I'm going to go ahead and...
Most like your dates. Much like that joke.
Let me see. Oh, man. I'm trying to think of it was Spike Lee's cinematographer. And that guy was a great cinematographer. Ernest Dickerson.
Oh, yeah.
He was a great cinematographer, made some really bad movies like Juice. And what else did he make? The one where Ice-T, there was The Most Dangerous Game, the one that Surviving the Game, I think is what it was called. He the one with Ice-T where, it's take off of that novel where they hunt a human being. Yeah. So, as far as I know he's directed a lot of television these days.
Yeah, he did some episodes of Dexter. He did some Stargate Universe.
Yeah, he's done tons of television. Burn Notice, All Law. Yeah, he's done that. But before that, he was doing.
Did some Wire.
He did. Oh, he did. Okay, so he's guy's still working. But he did some really bad movies. Like he did.
Never Die Alone.
Was that a James Bond movie or something?
No. Okay. You don't remember Never Die Alone?
No, I don't remember that.
DMX?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I do remember that. I've seen every fucking DMX movie, which is not a good thing.
No,
No, I just remember he did Juice and Surviving the Game, and he did Demon Knight. There you go. And
He did Bones.
did he do that?
He did Future Sport.
Wait
Oh,
a minute. Are you on IMDb?
Of course I am. I looked
Okay,
up Ernest Dickerson.
Okay, let me look up. Let me look him up on IMDb.
Oh shit, he did Bulletproof and not even Bulletproof Monk, the crappy 96 Bulletproof.
Okay, Jesus, you're right. He did Bulletproof. He did what the fuck is Ambushed? I didn't see that. Oh, and look at that. Yeah, he did do Bones. All right, so guy's still working. I didn't know he was still working as much as he was. I'm looking here now, like, wow, he did a fuckload of TV.
Yeah, the man's making a living.
Jesus, I didn't know he was working that much. Oh, Jesus, man. Okay, well, okay, so he's still working. He's doing well, but as far as his cinematic career, like movies that are theatrically released, I always thought, like, man, this guy is such a great cinematographer. Why can't he do a decent film? You know, something that is really, really successful, something that is really well written. He just it seemed to do a bunch of bullshit. And from what I saw, like with Juice, he was really bad with actors too. So I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of his. I have to go watch some of these episodes of his TV show because I don't want to talk shit about the guy. I still think he's phenomenal behind the camera, and I would love to see him make another movie one day. But I just not in the vein of Juice or Bones or anything else like that. So
well, and I think that'll end this week's episode of